After a long and arduous East Coast swing, the Formula Drift Championship heads west for the final leg of the season. The battle in Seattle will commence and drivers will make their final attempts to chase down series leader James Deane. After Aasbo climbed back into contention with his win in Montreal, he, along with the other top drivers, need to make a move to keep the Irishman in their sights as the series heads into the final round in California. It's time to throw down here in the Pacific Northwest, only on Black Magic Formula Drift Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Hello Drift fans and welcome to Monroe, Washington Evergreen Speedway, playing host to round 6 of 8 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. I'm Jared Deane. Well, we're just about an hour north of Seattle, so let's call this the Battle in Seattle. That's what I like to call it. 10 plus years we've been coming here, and this is where a championship truly starts to come to life. 2 drivers in particular could really separate from the rest of the top 5 field, that being James Deane, our points leader, and the Norwegian hammer Fredrik Aasbo. Don't count out Latvian driver Christos Bluss, Michael Essa, or Ryan Tuerck. Anything can and usually does happen. The action's about to unfold here in the top 16, but before we see that, I throw it to my co-host, Ryan Sage.
All right, well, thank you, Jared. I am down here on the course at Evergreen Speedway. We find ourselves in the latter part of the 2017 championship season, and of course, we got to talk about the track. That long run-up into the big bank. We got a couple little bumps that drivers have to deal with as they get through the power alley right into this second outer zone and slow up before that first and second inside clip. Full throttle through the finish line. This is an intricate course, and the championship is on the line here tonight. So good luck to all the drivers as we head into the top 16. But before we get to that and all the action, we're going to go on board with Ken Gucci and our Blackview course preview.
Hey guys, I'm Ken Gucci, and this is your Blackview course preview. So here for Evergreen Speedway, I'm going to drive through the chicane, upshift from first gear, second gear, third gear, and then fourth gear, clutch kick into outer zone 1. Ride the wall, stay on accelerator with a lot of angle, aim for the last 3 markers on the fence, and then get my rear left to the touch and go as I transition into outer zone 2. I'm going to ride the wall on outer zone 2, aim for inside clip number 1 with a lot of angle, and then transition one more time into inside clip number 2, crossing the finish line. And that is your Blackview course preview.
Drifting is the only motorsport in the world that is based on judging, so let's break down how that works. In head-to-head battles, the lead driver is supposed to run a specific judging line with as much angle as possible. The lead driver is setting the pace, but the chase driver is supposed to utilize the lead driver as a moving clipping point. Wherever the lead goes, the chase should go too. After 2 runs with each driver leading once, the driver that was the most consistent, most aggressive, and was able to show clear dominance over the other driver will win the matchup. For rules, criteria, and more information on Formula Drift, head to www.formulad.com.
Here's how it looks in the top 16 bracket. These are the gentlemen that made their way from the 32, and notably, James Deane qualifying number 1. He's going against a first-time comer here in the top 16. That is Dan Burkett.
Well, James Deane continuing to make it difficult for just about every driver in the series. He's got that number 1 qualification as he takes the lead against Dan Burkett.
Well, Dan's been taking notes here on James Deane. He's seen what he can do, so he needs to throw down, and he does just that. Oh, a little too hard going into the wall. James Deane keeps the pace.
Big mistake there by Dan Burkett, succumbing to the pressure here against the number 1 qualifier and the leader in the series, and now James Deane just needs to make this last turn in order to finish up this first lap of the run.
Yeah, that Rad Industries next entire Toyota Supra right here, riding shotgun, wall ride, and way too much of a wall ride as he takes out some carbon fiber and fiberglass. James Deane did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to finish out the rest of that run. He did that, but unfortunately, Dan Burkett succumbed too much damage, unable to run. That means James Deane is going to be easily handed the victory. So James Deane right now going for the perfect event, number 1 qualifier. Boom goes the dynamite. James Deane's going to the grade 8.
That was our first tandem battle with Red Dan, and unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he touched the wall behind me when I was leading, so we never really got a chance to have a real battle. But really proud of Dan. He's been driving really good this weekend, and I just hate to see him going out like that.
Only 1 battle into the top 16. More Formula Drift action when we return.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Blackview Dash Cameras. And by Hankook Tire, driving emotion.
Welcome back to a sold-out crowd here in Monroe, Washington. We are only one battle in. Our next battle, truly an international affair. We have Inca Madness Racing from Lima, Peru, going against Polish driver of Peter Wiecek. Can Peter Wiecek potentially go up against his Wirthaus Drift Team teammate of James Deane? Ryan.
Well, Alex Heilbrunn had a family emergency that he needed to attend to in Montreal, so he missed that round. Now he's looking for a good result here in Seattle.
Alex Heilbrunn out front, lighting up those Nitto tires, sticking it to the wall. The Falcon tires in chase, 68.8 miles per hour.
Well, you can see a little wavering there from Peter, but he certainly is keeping the proximity. Now Alex coming off the bank through that touch and go and into that outer zone.
The Power Alley really earning its name with Alex Heilbrunn at the helm, really close on the hash marks, bringing around that final front clip.
Well, great job right there by Peter in the last moments to surge and close the door through that final inside clip, but you can see the consistency out front by Alex Heilbrunn.
All right, now we're going to change up positions. Peter Wiecek, who qualified 9th, going against Alex Heilbrunn, who qualified 8th. He's going to be in the chase position.
Coming through the touch and go, and now the back straight here into initiation. You can see Peter right now getting a good jump on Alex as we start off this run.
Nice job by Peter Wiecek, maxing out the angle, allowing Alex Heilbrunn to gain some ground as they drop into the Power Alley.
You can see a couple mistakes out front by Peter, but doing a great job keeping a distance there as now Alex tries to close the door through that inside clip.
This is a dogfight right here as they cross the finish line. Ryan, this is a tough one for the judges.
You can see the gap established here, but a couple wavering mistakes in the lead position. You got to remember, we judge lead to lead and chase to chase.
Let's take a look at the judging results, and Peter Wiecek, 2-1, gets the win.
I tried my best on a bank to stay close to him. I managed to stay in the length of half or maybe car length behind him. I felt good when we came down to the Enfield. After the transition, I came even closer and stayed that way to the finish line, so I was really happy about it. And yeah, I finished my run. I wasn't know what the result. We was preparing for maybe one more time, but yes, I'm in top 8 against James.
That should be an interesting one. And look at this, 2 former Formula Drift champions. Michael Essa, who qualified 4th, going against Daijiro Yoshihara, only qualified 20th, but he might rise to the occasion.
Both drivers having a great season overall. Michael Essa in that contention for the championship, but he's got to get through Dai.
The Achilles radials go aflame, and this car kicks off a lot of smoke. It's thick, it's nasty, and Dai Yoshihara is right there.
Closing the doors, Daijiro Yoshihara, then falling off a little bit, going offline, and now letting Michael Essa get an advantage.
That is not where Dai needed to be. He knows who he's going against, wraps it around one more clipping point for both the drivers, and Essa has a strong advantage with Dai going off course.
Great job by Dai to close the door here on that ever-important bank, but then he falls off, gets lost through the smoke, and allows Michael Essa to continue a nice lead run.
So with Dai out front, he needs Michael Essa to make a mistake to either gain an advantage or go one more time.
Here we go, both drivers initiate into the big bank. Dai a good start here. Michael Essa keeping a little bit of distance here. Not sure if that's strategy or Dai pulling ahead.
See if he can gain some ground here in the Power Alley. They go into that touch and go. Both of them exceeding that line. It'll be a small deduction, but is that enough to offset the major mistake by Daijiro?
Essa a little inconsistent here on the second part of the run, making that mistake on the bank and through that last inside clip. Is this enough for a one more time?
All right, so you can see Essa getting that gap, making the mistakes. Let's go to the Universal Technical Institute. Judging results, it's unanimous. They are going one more time. So we'll see Michael Essa out front once again and Dai Yoshihara in the chase position.
Second chance for both drivers. Here we go. Michael Essa taking the lead. Daijiro Yoshihara keeping him close.
Essa initiating. You see the Achilles tires get smoked out. Not as high on the bank as he was on his first run. Great composure there from Yoshihara.
Better job by Dai this time around to stay closer to Michael through that section coming off the bank. But look at Essa, smooth and consistent out front.
Both of them getting into the touch and go on that first hash mark around the front clip. Dai Yoshihara even taking it out.
Well, you got to say this was a much better chase run from Dai overall. Did not make that mistake coming off the bank. But again, Michael Essa consistent and smooth out front.
You can see the fans. It is a packed house here at Evergreen Speedway. Yoshihara out front, lighting up some Falcon tires. Essa in tow.
Here we go, second half of the battle. Great job so far by both competitors. Dye initiating on the bank. You can see the smoke line that Michael Essa has to drive through.
Yoshihara riding high on the bank, dropping into that touch and go area. Michael Essa getting lost in the smoke, shortens it up, does not get out to the outer zone.
Big mistake for Michael Essa, and now a straightening right there. That might be too much to overcome as Dye goes through the finish line.
As we get the bird's eye view, boom, right there. You see Yoshihara gets out to the outer zone. Michael Essa shortening it up. Let's go to the judging results, but I think you know the outcome. Yoshihara's going to the grade 8.
Well, we obviously had a really close battle because we went to one more time. I made a mistake here and there, and I think he did too. And then in the end, I think my run was pretty clean. You know, I got a really good follow, and lead run was really clean as well. So that put me on to top 8. Can't be happier because he was beating me like a few times a few battles. So it's a good payback.
Essentially his home track. He's from Medford, Oregon. Matt, put him in a Coffman, is going against Kristaps Bluss, the Latvian lover, as I like to call him. He has yet to get an overall victory. He's got second place. Can he take it to the top? But he's got to go through this Ford V8 powered S13 of Coffman.
Coffman getting a great jump here, but now falling back. As you can see, the initiation right there by Kristaps Bluss, way out ahead at 72.3 miles per hour.
Kristaps Bluss' vehicle is a rocket ship. A V8 powered BMW gets into the touch and go, fills that outer zone, and now tightens up to the front clip.
And the key for Kristaps is going to be not to run away by cutting the line. He's going to want to go all the way out to the zones and those inside clips and show that he is establishing a good lead run.
You can see Coffman getting left in the smoke, gain some ground there when it tightens up. I mean, you really need to bring all your weapons to this fight. You got the long, big bank, and then it tightens up towards the latter part. Here goes Matt Coffman out front, Kristaps Bluss in chase.
Bluss keeping it close there to Coffman on initiation, already trying to close the door here, and you can see so much speed, but not a lot of angle in the car, and Coffman ripping up the bank.
Coffman very comfortable here, gets into the power alley, living up to its name. Oh, and Kristaps Bluss makes a mistake in the chase.
Bluss's speed in that vehicle may have bid him here, unable to match angle with Matt Coffman.
So right here, overhead, you see Kristaps get, and there, right there, he gets lost in the smoke, has to shorten it up. Let's go to the Universal Technical into judging results, and Matt Coffman's moving on.
I don't know exactly what Kristaps did to give me the win, but I don't know. I'm just exhausted right now, and Kristaps beat me last round. I beat Kristaps here before in the past, so my next run in the grade 8 today, I'm going to go against my favorite champ of all time, Dai Yoshihara. I mean, growing up watching FD, Dai was always my favorite driver, and I've never gotten to drive with him in the 4 years that I've been doing this, so today's a good start, I guess.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Nexen Tire. Driving Tomorrow. By Achilles Radio. Tires you can trust. By Falcon Tires. And by Universal Technical Institute. Chosen by industry. Ready to work.
Welcome back to Monroe, Washington, the 6th round of the Formula Drift Championship. We have some upsets here unfolding in the top 16. Who's going to advance on into the grade 8? Our next battle, Ryan Tuerck versus Justin Pawlak. Ryan Tuerck qualified second. That's a great position. This is the first time he's seen battle this weekend, and he's going through the menacing Black Mustang of Justin Pawlak.
Well, Tuerck has had an outstanding 2017 championship run, and Justin Pawlak has had some very bright moments here, so we expect fireworks between these two drivers. That gum out 2JZ powered Hankook tire GT86 is high on the bank. Nice job. Pawlak a little bit lower than him as they go into the power alley. Aggression getting the better of Justin Pawlak here. He's on a lower line, but look at Ryan Tuerck filling that outer zone. Nice wide line, but misses that inside clip. Yeah, he filled that outer zone, but when it came to that front clip, he overshoots it quite a bit. See overhead, boom, gets in the outer zone. Pawlak tightens up, but Tuerck swings wide. Justin Pawlak will now be out front, and that gum out GT86 will be in the chase position. So we've seen some mistakes from both drivers here, both now having an opportunity to capitalize on the other. The Falcon tire, smoke being thrown in Ryan Tuerck's face. Justin Pawlak, look at that, wavering, dropping down, not composed on the bank. So Tuerck and Pawlak both having some mistakes in this run right on the bank. Now as we transition through, Tuerck really tightening up the inside. Oh, and Tuerck makes a mistake there. There may have been contact. Let's take a look at that again. You see Justin Pawlak straighten out as well. As you look at the replay, was there contact, Ryan? Yeah, it looked like you see a little disruption in the vehicle there of Justin Pawlak.
And look at that, 2-1, Justin Pawlak gets the win.
We put a lot more grip into the car, and I just wasn't expecting it. I tried to clean it up at the end of the bank, which I felt like I did. Got out to the touch and go, got into outer zone 2, and then next thing I know, I just felt a bump on the side of the car, and I think he got into my wheel or something because it really like slowed down. I almost like stalled it out. I don't know. And then I just tried to like continue on because the wheels were still moving. So I don't know. They deemed him at his fault. I think he just came in too hot through the smoke. Sometimes you get lost through there, and we're moving on.
Well, our next battle is an important one for Frederick Aasbo. He is taking a stab at the championship. Can he get a second ever championship? And he's going against his Papadakis Racing teammate of Jonathan Castro, and it bears repeating, we've seen some greatness from Jay Castro.
Well, for Aasbo, every battle counts now as he is in second place against James Deane, so he needs to get through Castro here to have a fighting chance.
69.8 miles per hour, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla IM. Ew, look at Castro!
Oh.
And it looks like we got some contact.
It does look like Castro got a little bit overly aggressive on the inside. Aasbo started off with a nice clean line, and you can see right there the contact coming off the bank from Castro.
Looked like some tire to tire, wheel to wheel, and then they both came around. Castro will now be out front with that deficit. The Norwegian Hammer will be given chase.
So Frederick Aasbo may be playing a conservative game here after fault was given to Castro, but look at him putting on a show for the fans.
Castro, good angle from him, not as high on the bank. Frederick Aasbo, he's gonna play it cool, give himself a little bit of room, but still gonna apply some pressure just like that.
Great lead run here by Jonathan Castro, but it'll be too much to overcome as they cross the finish line, and Frederick Aasbo makes no mistakes.
Frederick Aasbo keeping his composure, nice job from him. Tight to the front clip, but too little, too late for Jonathan Castro. And Frederick Aasbo gets the win.
Went against Jonathan Castro, my brother from another mother from GR, and him and I are technically teammates in Papadakis Racing, and we've been talking a lot about not being too greedy in braking zones. He was this time, hit my tire, knocked the steering wheel out of my hands, and bent the lower control arm, and he just came in too hot. The guys got to fix the car good as new within 10 minutes, went back out there, put down a good chase run on Jonathan, and that sealed the deal.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Nas with Complex 6 for high performance energy. By Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts. And by Blackview Dash Cameras.
Welcome back to a smoke and fan-filled Evergreen Speedway here in Monroe, Washington. We have our next battle on deck, Bakchis versus another Pacific Northwest driver of Cameron Moore. He's a butcher by day, and now he's going to be butchering some tires going against Bakchis, who qualified third.
Bakchis with a big win in New Jersey in the earlier part of the season, but he's also been a past winner here, so he loves this track at Evergreen Speedway. Here we go into initiation.
Bakchis throwing in a nice smoke signal there, 72.3 miles per hour. Cameron Moore in that aimless performance GT86. Nice, cool, calm, and collected.
Great job by Moore to close the door there, but Bakchis getting the better of the bank. Nice job on that outer zone, but Cameron Moore staying in there.
Well, the butcher versus the surgeon right now as Bakchis performing surgery on the track, and Cameron Moore chopping up the back bumper of Bakchis.
Well, coming through this last inside clip, you can see here Cameron Moore surges with no angle and makes contact with Bakchis.
Cameron Moore will be out front. Looks like he's going to take a right-hand turn there, and he is going to make a major right-hand turn as Bakchis will be hunting him down.
Well, a big hill to climb here for Cameron Moore. He really needs to get out there, out front, establish that gap, and he's doing it so far. Great job by Moore.
Yeah, Cameron Moore out front. Bakchis nowhere to be found, but now gaining that ground in the power alley. A big smoke signal coming off Cameron's vehicle.
Looks like strategically giving some space to Moore on the bank and now closing it up towards the latter part of the course.
Well, unfortunately for Cameron Moore, that first battle could have been the deal sealer for him, as does a great job there in the chase position. Let's go to Universal Technical to judging results. Bakchis gets the win.
Things went pretty smooth, except when I was leading, I did feel some bumping. Actually, about 2 or 3 times. I knew Cameron was close, and apparently he was really close. He ended up, I think, going a little too aggressive and took himself out. So when I chased him, I played it a little conservative on the bank, because that's where things could get really hairy, and I want to keep going. I want to keep this car together.
Our final battle of the top 16, and it's another teammate battle. It's Vaughn Gittin Jr. against his young Padawan of Chelsea Denofa. Padawan is a Jedi in training. Can he take down, let's call it is, the boss, Vaughn Gittin Jr.?
Well, this has got fun written all over it here as Vaughn Gittin Jr. takes the lead against Chelsea Denofa. Snappy initiation and Denofa right there.
Vaughn Gittin Jr., great angle, but Chelsea Denofa is mimicking. Say howdy, get rowdy, and he is saying howdy right at his door.
Great job on the bank by both competitors. Denofa through the smoke line. Big angle there, right into the pocket against Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. tight to those front clips, and Denofa tight to that back bumper.
Now that was some precision driving there by Denofa, backing off through the smoke line, using that muscle memory, and in a great transition through that last inside clip to stay door to door with Vaughn Gittin Jr.
This is more than a battle advancing onto the Grade 8. This is bragging rights. Denofa out front, that BC Racing Ford Performance Mustang RTR. Vaughn Gittin Jr. right there.
And Vaughn getting some back on Denofa now. Nice job on the bank by both these guys. This looks like a replica of the last run.
A lot of people are on their feet. They are hyped for this run as Denofa, wow, big flick into that outer zone.
Well, the only difference there is maybe Vaughn didn't get into the pocket as close as Denofa did, but this is an outstanding battle between these two competitors.
Dissecting this just a little further, this is going to be a fun and a tough one to call for the judges. See that overhead going to the judging results. Denofa unanimously gets the win.
It was wild. I mean, I think we both drove as hard as we could, and I think I just ended up on top with just being a little bit more angle. I think just his proximity was just as good, but I drove as hard as I physically could. I overdrove the car a little bit, but it didn't really show. I got lucky, and it just worked out. It was wild.
Well, there is the Grade 8. James Deane going against Peter Wiecek, his Wordhouse Drift Team teammate. Yoshihara, Coffman, Aasbo still fighting for the championship. Denofa takes down Vaughn Gittin Jr. James Deane still leads the pack. Bakchis, can he make a championship contention? Well, we'll find out in the continuation. The next episode will be the Grade 8 and the eventual victor here at the Battle in Seattle, Monroe, Washington. In association with Formula Drift, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.